Hey, we're back. Good to see everybody, sort of, however this works. I have a good story for you, and it comes from the book of Mark. They went to Capernaum, and when the Sabbath came, he entered the synagogue and he taught. They were astounded at Jesus' teaching, for Jesus taught them as one having authority, not as the scribes. Just then, there was in their synagogue a man with an unclean spirit. He cried out,
"What have you to do with us, Jesus of Nazareth? Have you come to destroy us? I know who you are, the Holy One of God."
But Jesus rebuked him. He said, "Be silent, come out of him." And the unclean spirit, convulsing in him and crying with a loud voice, came out of him. They were all amazed. They kept on asking one another, "What is this? A new teaching with such authority? He commands even the unclean spirits and they obey him." At once his fame began to spread throughout the surrounding region of the Galilee. Whoa! Stressful, huh? So Jesus is just doing his church thing, right? He's reading, he's teaching. It's kind of a chill place. People are being contemplative, and thoughtful. And all of a sudden someone,
"What are you doing here? Why are you teaching us? Who are you to say this? I know who you are."
It's crazy. It's so wild and intense. And you know what? They were acting, it says, with an unclean spirit. Oof. Have you ever felt like you were kind of taken over by something that just wasn't your hope or your personality type? I think I like that idea of an unclean spirit, and I think, man, when have I been behaving in a way that's just not me? When I've been overtaken by either anger or frustration or sadness, all sorts of emotions. And those sorts of things, when they boil up enough, I know I could act in ways that would disappoint me and do disappoint me when I look back and go, why did I do that? Why did I say that? Have you ever done something like that? Have you ever said something you know you didn't mean just because you had that bite in you? You were angry, you were frustrated, and you said something you didn't mean. I think of that character coming into Jesus's quiet teaching setting and getting so frustrated. Who are you? Jesus taught a lot of challenging things, and people were talking because they're like, man, he's on to something. He's doing something. It's good, but it's still somehow different to them. Something special is happening, and some people respond to that with frustration and anger, and that's what happened. So I think there's a teaching here for us about what God's hope is for us in the midst of that. Jesus hears this man, all that frustration. He says, calm down, be silent. Then he says, come out. We're not having this. It's like he's like, what this is, this character, this way you're behaving, let's stop and let's try something else. Have you ever, that might be something we could learn. What's a thing we could do when we're not our best self, when we're not acting in like, we struggle with self-control or anger or something like that. This might be something we could do. So the first thing would be stop. If you're getting real mad and you're ready to do something, say something, what do you do with that mad you feel when you just want to bite, when you just want to be angry? Stop. Let's stop talking for a second. Let's not say anything we'll regret. Be silent for a second. Then let's get that out. So maybe take a deep breath. Or maybe we have a song we'll be singing in this service. Let's take a lap. You ever have someone say that to you? Why don't you just go walk it off? Why don't you go get some fresh air? Stop. Breathe. Take a lap. Take a lap. Because this is not ourselves. We don't want to say things that we don't mean. We don't want to say hurtful things because we're full of anger. We can do something different. Let's take a lap. Let's take a walk, as Pastor Alice would say. Anger, let's take a walk. Frustration, let's take a walk. Bitterness, let's take a walk. The desire to just hit or bite or scratch, let's take a walk. That's our invitation to you. Because being a disciple doesn't mean that you're never going to get frustrated. Doesn't mean you're not going to get mad. But as a disciple, you have the responsibility of how you're going to treat your neighbor every day. You're called to be a reflection of love and life and light and truth and honesty and care. So instead of speaking with that immediate reaction of anger, or frustration, let's stop. Let's be silent for a second. Take a lap. I'm just going to take a second, come back to this, cool our heads, and try to be people of peace. Because peacemaking happens in challenging times. It doesn't happen in its peace. Peacemaking means taking something that could have been and creating something that ends those things. An arbitrator amongst people is what they called Jesus. You can be that too. If we take those minutes when we're ready to be angry and mad and say, silent. Let's take a lap. Let's take a walk. Let's take a minute. Let's get a breather and come at this with a heart for understanding. Come at this with a heart for mending. Come at this with a heart for restoring the breach. Cool? I know you can do that. Think of ways that you can, when you're frustrated, you can just cool out. Take a second, regroup. I know you can. Have a great week. Bye.